And happy Mother's Day to everyone. Today's podcast is entitled Okerhoma Edercation. We thunk real good with our terrorist teacherification. Oklahoma Republican leaders applaud Walter's effort at alienating teachers statewide. Okay, yeah, I exaggerate, but I think teachers are not really happy being called terrorists. I tried to take a break from Oklahoma politics, but I can't help it. Ryan Walters is at it again, and my friends have called forth the spirit of justice to defend the innocent. Sadly, the answer to their prayers was me. Walters has attracted my ire before. Pretty sure he's lost a lot of sleep about it. I'll leave links here under the comments in case someone wants to refresh their memories. Because he was just a side note at the time, my main issue was Governor Stitt. Now, for the purposes of this post and subsequent posts, the next two posts, I intend to stay laser focused mainly on Walters. For my own reasons, in this post, let's pretend I am the Highlander. And Stitt is on holy ground. There can be only one. Hurrah! But Walters is not on holy ground. I intend to write a 2 or 3 article series about what a tool bag and dipstick he is. Here I will share the sources I am getting my information from. Again, that will all be in the comments below. Where chaos and anarchy roam. The state of the Oklahoma educational system has been suffering for a long time. We had a controversial strike a few years back. My best friend was a leader in that movement, both in the effort to acquire the raise, but also in an effort to keep the movement from going off the rails. One of my other friends, who is also very close to me, was not very supportive of the movement. I think these two friends pretty solidly represent intelligent Oklahomans on both sides of the issue. Both sides, frankly, do believe that teachers should have competitive compensation with neighboring states. But one side is more adamant about it than the other, and there it is. I'll leave it at that. One side felt that the strike was deserved and was appropriate, and the other one really does not. My intent, which is likely an impossible dream, is to show respect to both perspectives. I'm neither coming out in support of nor against any teacher strikes, pay raises, anything like that. As usual, I'm just trying to tell both sides. Ryan Walters is a disgrace to Oklahoma education, no matter what side of the debate you are on. The Lost Ogle broke a story about how not only does Ryan Walters govern our schools from his TikTok account, which, I thought that was an evil Chinese spying device. But anyway, he has been driving around with a suspended driver's license. But as one of my friends who is a history teacher points out, I'm a student of history, to quote them, and it is my experience that politicians nowadays get away with anything. Sadly, my friend, I'm afraid you're not wrong. I first learned of the intrepid Walters during the election. My best friend was doing all he could to spread the word, first hoping against hope that Shawnee Public School Superintendent April Grace would defeat him in the Republican primary runoff. But, sadly, she did not win. You must understand that all she had was a paltry 30 years of experience in education, as opposed to Walter's whopping 8 years. Read 'em and weep, boys. In Oklahoma, we want fresh blood. But on a more serious note, how in Sam Hill did Walters beat her in a Republican election? Oh, I get it. Yes, now I see why Grace lost and Walters won. I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking. It shouldn't have mattered, but it did. Shame on you, Oklahoma. A certain insanity shows. Okay, right or wrong, we the people of Oklahoma voted him in. So, why am I hopping mad about him? Well, it isn't enough, I guess, that he proved himself incompetent with the mishandling of COVID-19 relief funds. I've already sung about that on TikTok and frankly gotten more views on that song than probably most of my blog posts. But him running around in his crazy-ass car talking about made-up crap on the internet, well, yeah, that may not be enough to talk about either, because frankly that gets views, and that's what gets votes. Let's not even care about that. Obviously the voters don't. Let's not care about invented crises of porn books that were either never in the Oklahoma library or were subsequently taken out by a more competent predecessor. Let's not care about invented crises of fictional children identifying as cats and defecating in kitty litter tubs, provided, I guess, by the malignant teacher unions. Let's ignore the irony of blaming the left, even if it is rather rightfully, for the crisis mongering during the COVID crisis. Yeah, I'm sure to get a strike on that one. Yet turning around and making up crises ourselves to get votes because we don't have anything of substance to say or contribute. Let's not debate at all. In fact, let's just decide that the people we govern, in Walter's instance, the teachers and the children of Oklahoma, they are the enemy. Let's start by labeling them as terrorists. I know it won me over to the Democratic Party during the aforementioned crisis that I don't dare mention without getting a strike. Jesus wept. Preach it, SpongeBob. Sadly, it isn't just the media who are trying to brainwash us. And it's bookie. I bite because I'm bored. Not long after the election, Walter started ruling education from his car, making TikTok videos. His favorite thing was to ban books by decree from Oklahoma libraries that actually were never there to begin with, or, again, removed by a more competent predecessor. Channel 5 in Oklahoma City shared the story, but failed to mention a few details. I quote, Oklahoma State Superintendent Ryan Walters said he wants to crack down on inappropriate materials in school libraries. Walters made the announcement after social media erupted with reports of books showing graphic sexual acts being available at a library in the Oklahoma City Public Schools District. That's the end of the quote. I'm no fan of censorship, but I also don't want grade or high school students walking through libraries stocked with shelves piled high with porn. I hope, and I believe from my research, that we haven't yet included biology textbooks or classical artworks. Both of them would contain nudes. That could be banned by a real moron. Thus far, I don't have any reports that has been the case. But the Lost Ogle does provide us some details that Channel 5, for whatever reason, left out. According to the Lost Ogle, quote, yep, that's a pretty strong response to finding a dirty book in the library. The only problem is the book has already been banned from the library. If you remember correctly, back in July, right-wing culture war-fighting theocrats unearthed copies of Genderqueer in some public school libraries. Like, let's talk about it. It had some sexually explicit drawings that any prude and pious parent questioned why it's in the public school library. This is again a quote from the Lost Ogle. Not your tired blogger. Feel free to leave comments, but don't leave any comments saying that I'm mocking Oklahoma parents. It's the Ogle, not me. Back to the quote. Instead of running to her car and filming a video vlog to grandstand on the issue, Then Oklahoma State School Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister respectfully issued a memo. That was her first mistake. Respect. Anyway, she issued a memo to school districts asking them to conduct an audit of their catalogs for the upcoming school year and to remove any inappropriate materials. Unquote. Say what you will about Hoffmeister, and I know a fair number of my readers don't like her, but she didn't make a big stink and go on TikTok and beat her chest and threaten and try to show us who's boss. She just got the damned books out of the library. End of story. Or it was, until Walters got all excited. Now who knows, maybe if she had done more grandstanding, she would have been the governor. And is it just me, or do the people who do the most grandstanding mainly just have political aspirations? Better watch out, Stitt. I think someone intends to be the next governor after you. Don't trust that bastard, Stitt. The guy just has weasel written over his snake oil salesman face. Mark my words, Governor Stitt. If the man ever finds any real dirt on you, he'll stab you in the back quicker than you can say liberal. I know someone who is a history teacher and is 20 times a better teacher than this ferret face ever was. Here we have him looking from a bookshelf as if he ever read a book in his life, with Reagan looking on in approval. But I think in real life, Reagan is twisting in his grave right now, ashamed of what his party has become. But in the next post, I will share things about Walter's obsession with porn, combined with his inability to tolerate any disagreement in the ranks of education, and point out how he is a fricking hypocrite. Yes, I know I haven't discussed solutions yet. Hopefully that comes in the next post or the one thereafter. Please let me know what you think and share any information, even if it's conflicting with what I believe. I need to learn too. Please share what you think about this topic. Thanks. Have a wonderful weekend.